To finish off our notes on human genetics, we're going to talk about sex-linked traits. And sex-linked traits are traits or genes that are located specifically on the sex chromosomes. And if you recall, the sex chromosomes are indicated with an X and a Y. Two X's together is the genotype for females, and an X and a Y is the genotype for males. Most sex-linked traits are carried on the X chromosome. So the female is the one that is going to carry those specific traits. So let's take a look at a sex-linked trait problem. Our example is eye color in fruit flies. And you'll notice by looking at the Punnett square, we've got Dad on the top because this is an X and a Y, and we've got the trait as a superscript on the X, and then we've got Mom's down the side with her two X's, and then of course the trait is superscripted on the X chromosome. So we're crossing a red-eyed male with a white-eyed female. And remember, the Y chromosome in males does not carry the traits. So you will notice over here that the Y does not have any trait attached to it. So two capital R's means that the child is going to be red-eyed. Heterozygous for the trait is red-eyed. Two little r's are white-eyed. And of course, if you have an X and a Y, you have a male. And if you have two X's, you have a female. So let's fill in our Punnett square and see how this actually works. So we have X, R, X, little r, X, little r, Y, X, capital R, X, lowercase r, X, little r, Y. So this is a female, red-eyed, female, red-eyed, male, white eyes, male, white eyes. Now, despite the fact this particular male is going to have white eyes, it does not need two alleles to make it have white eyes because it's carried on the X chromosome. So here's the solution to the problem, which I just did on the other slide. So 50% red-eyed females and 50% white-eyed males. So in conclusion, in a sex-linked trait like hemophilia, and we talked about hemophilia when we talked about our last pedigree problem, women are carriers and men have the phenotype. So if you remember from our notes on pedigrees, this means it's a female, half shaded, that means it's a carrier. This is a male with no trait, carrier, carrier, and then of course this particular boy, because he's a square, it's all filled in, so that means that he has hemophilia. And this concludes the notes on sex-linked traits.